Hi, this is Flash the Daily Drive. It's a Saturday morning here in California. Today I wanted to talk about why we offer a screening and monitoring of Handyman in our customer MyHome memberships. Just to give a a breakdown of why we think it's necessary. So you have a handyman. I've said before that being a handyman, you kind of become part of the family, and you're treated a little differently. Customers think of you more of a friend and more of a family than someone that they're not going to use on a regular basis. So you develop these relationships. So it's an uncomfortable situation, or it can be an uncomfortable situation for a homeowner to ask you for proof of insurance. Maybe they do in the very beginning, but I know in my experience, my regular customers never asked me. I mean, if they asked me in the very beginning, once I showed proof of insurance the first time, then 10 years later they're just assuming that I have insurance every year, and they're not checking with me. So when we monitor that, we are asking, then it kind of relieves that uncomfortable, business-like situation that it becomes if you ask them to show you proof every year that they renewed. The other thing our monitoring does is it eliminates the handyman that gets insurance and gets the insurance certificate and then cancels it because they don't want to pay the monthly, and that's more common than you might think. The other thing is with there are templates available that you can go online and make your own insurance certificate. So us verifying insurance account numbers and verifying with the insurance company that they're actually covered is something that you don't have to do, and typically people don't do. They just assume that what they gave them is accurate and valid. So the monitoring, not only is monitoring, criminal and background and things like that, we're monitoring, their business documents, their insurance. So that when they do come and do that job for you, you can be rest assured that their insurance is valid and they're fully covered to the extent that you expect. Maybe you don't require your handyman to have insurance, and maybe you go into a job fully aware that if anything happens, it's going to fall under your homeowner's insurance, and that's totally up to you as a homeowner. But we just believe that you should be aware, and you get what you expect and what you are prepared for. If you don't care if the handyman has a business and he's just a guy that works for you, that's totally fine. You assume all liability. He doesn't have a business. He doesn't have a business license. Everything's under the table. I mean, you make those choices and those decisions, and you live with the result. Whether it's, the quality of work might be amazing, maybe it's not, but I'm like sweating right now. It's like 100 and something degrees, and I turned the air off because the air always sounds, you could always hear it in the video. So that's why I'm wiping my face. So I'm sweating for you. I just, think that because the handyman has never been regulated, there's a lot of things that just naturally the handyman knows that they can get away with. They don't have any kind of a licensing requirement. They don't have anything with the state make sure to where they have to prove, liability insurance, a bond, workers' comp. They have no one that actually looks over them and says, this is what you have to have in order to be in business in our city, in our state. So what we're doing is we're saying, look, you know what, we are going to do that for the homeowner. We're going to monitor if something happens, if something, if they their insurance gets canceled, if they cancel their insurance, we're going to just let you know. We're going to send you an email, and we're going to say, we wanted to notify you that on this date, their insurance was no longer effective, so that way the next time you hire them, they can you can make sure that they have insurance. Maybe they changed companies, maybe they got a better rate or something like that. Not saying that every time somebody loses insurance it's intent, or they intended that to happen. So that's that kind of covers why we monitor the business documents. And a lot of thought was put into the fact that I think it kind of relieves you. If we're an independent association handling this, then it's not you going to them and saying, okay, every time you come to my house I want to see an updated insurance certificate. So anyway, so that's the monitoring for MyHome. That's the reason. I hope you have a great weekend, and because it is on a Saturday. If I didn't say it, it's Saturday right here. So happy home repairs. This was Flash with the Daily Drive. Take care. Bye.